Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. It's Monday, August 2nd, 2021, and this is the Dojo Live recap show. I'm Tulio Siragusa, joined by Kim Lantis and Carlos Ponce. Hi, guys. Welcome
Hey,
back.
Hey, let's get
S-
ready to start the
Monday,
week.
Monday.
Exactly.
It's beer o'clock. It's
It's
beer.
5 o'clock somewhere,
It's five
as
o'clock somewhere,
Jimmy
right?
Buffett says. So, at any rate, we are recapping last week's shows. We had two live shows and one rebroadcast. The first show we had was with Hannes Bend, who's the CEO at Breathing AI, and we talked about healthier screen time in the blink of an eye.
Mhm.
And then we also had Shannon Ferguson, who's the co-founder and CEO at FanSaves. We talked about bridging the gap between sports teams, sponsors, and fans. And finally, the rebroadcast was with Deb Ray, who's the founder and CEO at Rivet AI, talked about AI and content creation. So, very, as always, interesting show, great conversations, learned a lot. That's what I love about doing this is we just learn like what's happening, emerging things that are being done for the first time in some cases, disrupting industries. We get to hear it right firsthand from the people
Mhm.
shaping the future. So if you're not watching the show, you're not getting that information. So we encourage you to check it out. So anyway, what came up for you guys? Which one of these three shows stood out for you personally?
Whoa. Okay. Well, Kim, you want to get a head start? I usually jump in, but I'm gonna let you do the honors.
Well, I really enjoyed both of the live shows last week. I think with Shannon and FanSaves, for me, what came to my mind is like this is capitalism at its finest. Right? This ability to allow sports fans to have discounted rates and take part with the people who are sponsoring their favorite teams. And I thought it was kind of cool how there, what I understood, that there's this like tracking capability. So you can receive discounts and coupons of things that maybe you aren't even aware of, like alerts of, hey, you just drove past this restaurant and they're sponsors of the bears or something, and maybe you want to pop in, you have a 15% discount. Did you know that? So I thought it's kind of interesting and a fun way to incorporate, what we do for fun, what we do for needs, what we do for entertainment, along with our favorite teams. And then, of course, with Breathing AI, a technology that I think is applicable to everyone, especially since we're spending so much time on the screens. I'm interested in seeing how uh, just how that can make our screen time healthier. And also, I think there's so many applications there for different types of things beyond just healthy screen time, just what it's able to detect with the camera and facial expressions and things. I think is fascinating.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the fact that they're not just targeting like big teams. It's also like the local league, right? You often will get a banner at the field, and that's it. You're going to spend some money as a sponsor, but you don't really get to connect with the fans themselves unless you're creating some special kind of promotions. And I researched this afterwards, and I was trying to figure out which companies do these really well. It turns out mostly churches do this well, right? They get a sponsor through a restaurant, and then they encourage the members of the congregation to go to those restaurants, and then they identify themselves as members. They spend money, and then the proceeds go back to the church. So they've figured out
Huh.
how to connect the consumer to the sponsor, and yet in the commercial setting, in the sports setting, it hasn't been done very well. So it was very encouraging that she's built the technology to allow that to happen. And I love their culture too. So I kind of call them a conscious capitalism is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay. What else? What about you, Carlos? What came up
Yeah,
for you?
well, it's in all honesty and in full disclosure. I mean, there's not. I really found the technology part of FanSafe's interesting, especially when that part when maybe you might be driving by a specific business, brick and mortar business, and then might get a notification because it tells you that what you're approaching, the place you're approaching. The technology part is very interesting, but in all honesty, I don't think I would be maybe the 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 best user for that technology, because unless that is there's something like pertains to mountain biking or something on those lines, which I don't think so. That would be the point. However, the other conversation with Hannes band, breathing AI, that's a little bit more aligned with
Up your alley.
up my alley, the things that I do on an everyday basis, like the breathing part. I'm a huge, I mean, a huge fan of all things breathing as it pertains to your health and breathing techniques and name it whatever strange sounding name you want, but there's a bunch of them. But and because I do it on an everyday basis, I do it every day, and anything that reminds me that these alternatives to well-being are within reach.
Hmm.
And I mean, this is just incredible. I mean, especially those of us who spend a good chunk of our days on screen. This is when I look forward to just learning more about what Hannes is doing, and that's one that really caught my eye, to be honest.
Yeah, I like the personalized nature where it allows you to choose like this fine balance between what it is that I consciously enjoy and like,
Hmm.
health-wise, breathing, colors, but then also the AI detecting not just what it is that you like, but what is actually going to be most beneficial for you.
Hmm.
So this
Hmm.
personalization in the sense of what's conscious and subconscious and recommendations, I think it's gonna go places.
Right.
You know what blows my mind about these emerging technology and uses of, like, for example, how they can scan like your forehead and certain parts of your face to determine how you're doing in terms of your stress levels, your breathing, and such. It's just amazing how technology is beginning to reveal what has been around for a long time, but has been looked at as hocus pocus. Like you look at
Mhm.
people who've practiced Reiki, right? Energy movement, and you look at that and you're like, how do you do that? How does a healer use energy? How can they see something that other people can't see? And yet there's technology that proves that these things actually works. It's fascinating how we're bridging the gap between what has often been called, a not a proven science or metaphysics, into actually
But
coming
now
into
in
real life scenarios through technology. I just find
right.
that fascinating.
Like recently
So
with allergy, right? With the diabetics, like they're able
Right.
to detect just with
yeah,
your aura or your frequency. I don't know what you want to call it.
hey Tulio, you mentioned scanning forehead and all that. There's a lot of scanning for you and I, my friend, to be done here, right? Look at this, right? And look at yours. So there's a lot of
Yes,
scanning
some
right
of us
there.
have a lot more forehead
Yeah,
than
yeah,
others.
yeah, yeah,
All right. So we had also a rebroadcast. Sorry, we had
Mhm.
yes, that was good. We also had a rebroadcast with Rivet AI and Deb Ray, who's the founder of Rivet AI, about AI and content creation. So it seems as though what we're beginning to unfold around AI is the real benefit is how much automation it can create to help us do more and also support us in enhancing what we do. It's not here to replace us, as it is more about helping us enhance what we do. And in
Mhm.
some cases, in many cases, it's a way to check and balance so that what we're doing, has some way of either giving an alert that say, hey, did you think about this? But in other cases, it's just getting us closer to personalization on the content. So it's, again, similar to bridging the gap between sports fans and technology. It's similar things in content creation. We're running out of
yeah.
time. I've lost
Running out
track
of
of time.
time. I was just about to interrupt you. So thank you. Okay, three shows. We
What do
got
we got
three
coming up?
shows. We got three shows this week. Tomorrow, this is going to be how recruiting has changed during COVID. This is with Andres, with an S, Andres Blank, the co-founder and at Fetcher.ai. Then on Wednesday, we have AI, Animals, and Empathy. This is with John Hontario, the CEO and founder of Companion. And I know you're looking forward to this one, Kim. And then finally on Thursday, it's why you will fail and what you can do to stop it. This is with Aaron Guyette, the CEO at Pedestal. That's what we have this week, right here on Dojo Live at 12 p.m. Pacific, as ever. So join us and be safe.